Hello everybody, welcome to the channel. In today's video, I wanted to briefly go over a few key things that happened for the week. We're going to briefly talk about earnings, as there was a few companies that did report this week, a few key companies. We also want to talk about the new buyout of FTX by Binance, and this just was announced this week as well. So I wanted to briefly talk about that. And then I want to get into the meat, which is going to be the CPI numbers as they were released this Thursday. So I want to talk about those CPI numbers and what that could mean for the market going forward. If you like today's video, please give it a like, comment with any suggestions or questions you might have, and join us for our journey by subscribing, as we are a new channel and we're trying to grow, guys. Appreciate you guys being here. Thank you. Now let's get into it. All right. So when it comes to earnings, first up, we have Disney. Disney did miss on the bottom and top line, which is not a good thing. And they did something that investors really don't want to see right now, is a forecasted lower than expected, specifically with their Disney Plus. They did announce that going forward, they believe Disney Plus is going to taper. So it's not going to grow as much, which is something that investors really don't want to hear at this time. As you know, they've been growing Disney Plus at a rapid pace. And this is going to be the first time that they announce that they believe it's going to slow down, which isn't a good sign. And this is against what Netflix is saying. Netflix, when they announced their earnings last week, they said they expect the Netflix platform to grow even more. So this is opposite of what Disney is saying. So that's not a good thing. And because of that, they were actually down by 12% on the day that they announced it. So Netflix did fall 12% the day they announced this, which was their worst day since 2001. So Netflix did not have a good day on that Wednesday going after they announced their earnings. So not a good sign right there. I know a lot of people that are in Disney, a lot of people believe in Disney. I believe Disney's going to be all right. Disney's a very stable company. They normally don't even do big drops like this. Like they said, it's the first time since 2001. But when it comes to entertainment, they are the biggest entertainment company in the world when it comes to movie theaters, right? You're talking about the Marvels, you're talking about the Lucas, you're talking about Pixar. So Disney's a company that's going to be here 10 years from now, 50 years from now, in my honest opinion. They're not going nowhere no time soon, and they own the movie segment, right? So, but not a good earning, guys. Not the best from them. So if you got people are interested in getting into this one, you had a really good time to get into it, right? After they announced that, but there's something to keep in mind. Next up, we have NIO. We got our first Chinese company. We got the Tesla of China, which a lot of people like to call it. When it comes to NIO earning, they actually missed on profitability, where they are a non-profitable company, period, but they lost more money than what analysts were expecting, which is really not a good sign. But they did announce that they expect revenue to increase because they missed on earnings, but they grew on revenue. So on the top line, they did beat, but on the bottom line, they did miss. So NIO did kind of a mix, right? Because they announced that they missed on profit, but they announced that they expect revenue to grow even more going forward. So that's really what people want to see, is they want to see profit, which is obviously the most important thing, but they also want to see a positive outlook. And NIO did give that positive outlook. So it was a kind of mixed day for them. They were kind of mixed. They were kind of in the middle when they announced their earnings. So something to keep in mind with NIO. Next up is we have Palantir. Palantir did announce their earnings. The company did miss expectations for revenue, but they missed on earnings, but they did beat on revenue. But they also announced that they expect revenue going forward to be lower than expected. So once again, that is not a good sign. Analysts want to see positive outlooks, and Palantir kind of gave a negative one, right? So because of this, on that day, on that Monday, they did announce that they were down by 8%. So I believe they were down by 8% when they announced their earnings. So something to keep in mind, guys. Like we've talked about in the previous videos, analysts want to see positive outlooks. They want you to beat on the top and bottom, of course, but they want positive outlooks. And a lot of companies aren't providing those positive outlooks. So it's kind of a mixed earnings season this season, guys. So something to keep in mind, guys. All right. So next up, we have Binance buys FTX. I don't know if a lot of you guys are aware of this, but on Tuesday of this week, Binance announced that it will be willing to buy FTX. Originally, FTX was, I want to say last year, was valued around $32 billion. It was probably the biggest player when it comes to crypto. It was probably the number one crypto broker. It was announced that this company is too big to fall. It was the JP Morgan, in some people's words. I came from the article, but it was the JP Morgan of crypto. On Tuesday, this was announced that they were going to buy them out to try to save the platform, as a lot of cryptocurrencies platforms have been going under. And then on Wednesday, they changed their mind. On Wednesday, the next day, it announced that they changed their mind, that they're not going to buy FTX. They said that FTX is a mess and it is a lot going on with it. It was not what they thought when they originally decided they were going to buy it. The company was not doing as good as they thought they were doing, and FTX is a mess. And because of this, crypto has collapsed. FTX has collapsed. Crypto has not been in a good place this year. The stock market hasn't been in a good place, but crypto specifically has been really hit hard, as Bitcoin, which is the poster child for cryptocurrency, has fallen a lot. The Ethereum has fallen a lot. Any crypto that you were in has fallen. There has been no saviors when it came to crypto. A lot of these currencies have just fallen a lot. Crypto have taken a big hit this year. It's been a rough year for them. And FTX, which was seen as a poster child for crypto, as a platform that was going to make it no matter what, has completely crashed right now. So crypto is not in the goodest place right now, guys. I'm not a big crypto guy. I do own some crypto. So I do want to make that disclaimer. But I'm not a big crypto guy. I have less than about 1% of my entire portfolio is in crypto. But I believe that crypto is still here to stay, and I put that in quotation marks. I believe it's here to stay. You have some companies like El Salvador that even use it as a currency that you can buy stuff within crypto. You even have some people in the US where they will accept crypto as payment. So that is something to keep in mind, guys. But crypto is not regulated yet, and that's the thing that's always going to hold it back, is that it's not regulated. I think once it gets a major regulation with it, that we can probably see signs of it growing. But it's a risk that you take. It's a very big risk, and you can kind of see that right now as the crypto market has crashed to the ground. We have a lot of crypto brokers that are just out of business right now, so it's not a good sign for crypto. If you guys have your money in crypto, or in these brokerage, I would, it's be careful and watch it and see how these brokers are doing. I know a couple of friends of mine that were in Voyager, and they couldn't get their money out. They couldn't get their money out when it crashed and when it went bankrupt. So just a warning to people that are in it, guys. Be safe, be aware, and pay attention to these, because this is a serious issue, guys. But yeah, it is what it is. Next up, so on Thursday, we had the release of the CPI numbers, and for many of us that have investments in many different companies, I'm pretty sure you guys had a green day on that day. Thursday was a fantastic day. We had green across the board. Almost every company was green. Almost every sector was green. Everything was green, which is something that we really needed. And the key reason because of this is because of those CPI numbers. CPI numbers came out at 7.7, which is lower than what analysts were expecting. When you go back to June, we were at 9.1. So slowly but surely, we've been slowly going down and getting inflation at a lower rate, which is something that we really need, as this can hopefully show the Feds they don't have to be so aggressive when it comes to interest rates, as they have been increasing it by 75 basis points every single meeting. So this is a good sign for the economy. It shows that inflation is going lower. We need this to continue, as we need inflation to get back to what it normally is, which is around 2%. So CPI numbers were released. They were lower than what analysts were expecting. That's a very good sign. Hopefully a sign to the Feds that they can slow down interest rates and stop being aggressive. Because if we have high inflation rates, what that does is it increases the cost of what it is to borrow money. So the higher interest rates is, the more it costs to borrow money. The more it costs to borrow money, the less likely companies are to borrow money to invest in their business, right? So we don't want interest rates at a very high rate. We do need interest rates to be at a stable amount, as this will help us slow down inflation, which is something that we need even more, in my opinion. We need to slow down inflation even more, but we don't want to be too aggressive to what we can trigger in a recession, and we could really slow down our growth, right? So it's something to keep in mind, guys. It was a very green day on Thursday, guys. Very good sign for the economy. CPI numbers, inflation is lowering. We need to continue doing this. A very good thing, guys. I appreciate you guys for being here, guys. If you like what you've heard, please leave a like on the video. I would really appreciate it. Comment any of the questions or suggestions you may have. We are a new channel. We're trying to get better. We're trying to grow. And then subscribe so you can join us on this journey, guys. Appreciate you guys being here. Thank you as always. More videos coming. Now, bye-bye.